It all started one winter's night back in the summer of '56. The bills were coming in thick and fast and getting thrown into the trash just as thickly and fastly. The months all seemed to last about the same length of time, and some even longer than that. It felt like it'd been a whole year since my last case, but I solved the mystery of the flightless bird only 11.5 months ago. That was an easy one. Penguins are rare in Darlington and easily explained using flapping movements and an Encyclopedia Britannica. The folks of the town took it well, accepting the bird as part of their culture. He fitted in remarkably and even started up his own fishmongers. He ate himself out of business in a week. It was after this 11.5 long months that she walked in. At first I thought she got the wrong place. She was holding her shoes in her hands.
Cobbler's is 2 blocks down the street.
They hurt my feet.
Cobbler's?
My shoes.
Chiropodist is 2 the other way.
Can you help me?
Well, I've had no real training in feet, but I'll do my best.
She was a knockout. The kind of dame I watched go by 100 times and it always seemed like the first. The kind of dame that could cook a good breakfast and have a child at her breast and a drill in her hand at the same time. My kind of dame. She gave me a look as if to say, "Oh, take me now, Sammy, that's what I came for." I shot her my best bedroom eyes.
You're grimacing. Are you hurt?
No? You have lipstick on your cheek.
Oh, no, that's ketchup. I had a salad on the way over here.
Interesting. Now let's have a look at those feet.
I have a case for you.
What's it about?
My husband.
Damn.
He's been murdered.
Great.
Can you help me?
I'll see what I can do. Can I get you anything? Tiny coffee?
That sounds wonderful.
He was different. That had hit me as soon as I'd walked in the door, like a Royal Bengal tiger hits its mother when it's ready for milk. He was the kind of man that you would see in the street flapping his arms about, and you'd think nothing of it. Then one crazy day you'd run into that same forgettable guy in his office and realize just how different he was. He made me want to show him my trick of nursing the baby while erecting a shelf with breakfast on the go. I needed to tell him about my husband, and I needed him to take the case. How could I persuade him?
Now it's Miss
Marty Callahan with 4 A's.
Sammy Delaney with 2 A's and a C in math.
Maybe we should discuss the details over drinks tonight.
What's the price?
Depends which bar we go to.
The price for the case.
I thought I could pay you.
Of course, you've got money.
$5,000.
I'll take 2.5.
10.
You've done this before. 7.
You know your stuff. 200.
20 large.
Done. You drive a hard bargain, Mr. Delaney.
I drive a Cadillac, but thanks for asking.
I'll see you at 8 at Mahoney's.
She was late. I thought about ordering a drink and sitting back in anticipation. But then a quick glance over to the entrance informed me that Miss Callahan had just arrived and that there was a special offer for the over 65s at the bingo hall on Thursday. Must inform Mother. She looked fabulous. Dressed to impress, no doubt. But was it for me, or the fact that she desperately wanted me to take the case? Was it just me who felt the sexual tension? Did she feel the same? Could I take a sneaky look at her bum as she approached without her noticing? Clearly not.
Miss Callahan. You look sensational.
Thank you, Mr. Delaney. You don't look too bad yourself.
Yes, I jogged here. It was chilly, but I had patches on my nipples.
Very sensible. Should we order some drinks?
Of course. What would you like?
What are you having?
Rum and pumpkin. It's good for the bowels.
Oh, a Rumpy Pumpy. Make mine a double.
Barkeep. 2 of my regulars.
Don't you mean usuals?
Not with my bowel habits.
Why are you looking at me like that?
You have ketchup on your cheek again. Salad.
No, that's lipstick. I did my makeup while cycling here. Now I have to talk to you about something.
Isn't that why we're here? The case.
Is that the only reason, Mr. Delaney?
No, I'll be honest. I was hoping you felt the same way about me as I do about you.
And how do you feel?
I have no idea.
Neither do I.
I knew it. She felt the same way.
Now that's out of the way, should we talk about the case?
Of course. Brief me.
Okay, I'll be brief. My husband and I had been married for 3 months when he disappeared. His body was found at the canal at the back of our house only 2 weeks later. It had come to the surface and a dog dived into the water drawn by the smell of the meatloaf he was carrying. It wasn't completely decomposed. It had been quite well preserved in the water and made for a handy reward for the dog.
You gave his body to the dog?
No, the meatloaf. Oh, Mr. Delaney, it was truly hard.
The meatloaf?
No, his body. It was deformed and his nails had dirt underneath them.
Then why did you marry him?
After he drowned. The police said it was an accident, that he'd fallen into the canal on his way home. He was probably drunk, or maybe just ecstatic about the meatloaf, but I didn't believe that. He wasn't a big drinker, and meatloaf was only his 4th favorite. I don't think he would have lost his balance over it, and I don't think he drowned. He was a strong swimmer, and the meatloaf was surprisingly buoyant. Plus, the knife they removed from his back also made me suspicious.
Sounds like it could be murder. It's very unlikely that your husband stabbed himself in the back. The police have closed a file on this one?
They said it was an open and shut case. It must have been suicide. Anyone who had killed him would have obviously stolen the delicious meatloaf.
Obviously. Does your husband have any enemies?
Only Stabby Jeff. Do you think he could be involved?
He sounds innocent enough, but I'll talk to him anyway. That gives me somewhere to start.
Does this mean you'll take the case?
Miss Callahan.
Please, call me Marty.
Marty. I'll take the case.
Sammy? May I call you Sammy?
Of course, I'll give you my number.
May I address you as Sammy?
Again, yes.
Sammy, this is wonderful. You've made me feel very special tonight.
You're a special lady. In fact, I think this might not just be a professional relationship.
Me too.
Would you care for another drink?
No, I have a date.
Bitch. Stabby Jeff didn't have much to say. In fact, he just had oral surgery, so he didn't have anything to say. His hand gestures were vague and only made for confusing but nonetheless entertaining viewing. The case had started badly and was getting worse. So far, I had a dead husband, no leads, and a stinky two-timing client. It was clear to me that Marty was not telling me the whole truth. A date only 3 weeks after her husband disappeared, and a week since the body was found? Like Stabby Jeff, that didn't make sense.
Sammy,
Marty! Marty, what happened? That's not ketchup or lipstick.
They're bruises. Someone doesn't want me talking to you.
Did you see who it was?
I couldn't see their face because their fists were so big.
Did it happen after your date?
During. We were walking home together.
You went home together?
Is that important?
No? Was he injured?
Yes, but not too badly.
Shame. What makes you think it might be connected?
Isn't it obvious?
Well, let me see. A man and a woman walking home together late at night get attacked. Clearly every mugging this side of Cleethorpe is connected to me. Let me inform the media.
It wasn't a mugging. They didn't steal anything.
Can you prove that?
I think I know what this is about. Are you jealous of my date, Sammy?
I thought we felt the same way.
So did I. You said you didn't know how you felt either.
And that means nothing to you.
Maybe we should keep it professional for now.
Fine. You said your husband disappeared 3 weeks ago. How are things between you and him before that?
A little shaky, but nothing a nice meatloaf supper wouldn't have fixed.
So why only after a week of knowing your husband was dead did you go out on a date?
I can't wait around forever. It was an accident. It's what he would have wanted.
But a week?
You think it should have been sooner?
Let me buy you a drink tonight. I got some work to do. I'll meet you later.
What work?
I figure the coroner may have some insight for us.
Fine. Same place?
Same time. Wear the same dress.
It's pretty torn from last night.
The attack?
No, back at my place
Wear a different one. The coroner's report made for interesting reading. He fancied himself as a novelist and had inserted a plot twist at the end of the report where Marty's husband survived and joined the circus as a lion tamer. Aside of that, it was almost entirely factual. The knife wound was not what killed Marty's husband. He had drowned. More to the point, his lungs were filled with common tap water and not dirty canal water as I'd been expecting. So it would appear that he had drowned in the bath, or, more unlikely, while washing his face at the sink.
Hello, Sammy. Have you been waiting long?
Only since I got here. What would you like?
Bigger breasts.
To drink?
Bigger breasts. It's a cocktail.
Really? What's in it?
Milk served in 2 large jugs.
Interesting. I've discovered some fascinating facts about your husband. It seems he wasn't stabbed after all.
Then how did the knife get in his back?
He didn't die from the stabbing. He was dead already.
How do you know?
The coroner's report said your husband drowned.
What do you think happened?
Well, he simply could have been trying to drain the water from his lungs by piercing them with his knife.
Makes sense.
But my main theory is that someone drowned him somewhere else and then stabbed him to cover it up. Whoever did that then threw his body in the canal to hide the whole thing. I haven't decided yet whether or not the murderer wanted the bodies to be discovered.
Does that matter?
If someone is trying to set someone else up, which is definitely a possible probability, then it does matter. I'm gonna run a trace on the knife to find its history. It may prove vital.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Could I tell her that she could make it all better by dancing a salsa with me covered in salsa? Or a tango covered in tango? Or a Viennese waltz covered in Viennetta? In my profession, it was dangerous to settle down with anyone, let alone a client. How could I tell her what she meant to me and what I really thought of her? And how would she take it? As she put one of her large jugs to her lips, I knew that I shouldn't endanger her life by involving her in mine. But then also, the hell with it. Life is short, and I wasn't exactly forcing her into anything.
You're awful quiet over there.
I'm just thinking
What about?
whether I should tell you I think I love you.
Why don't you tell me and say?
I think I love you.
I don't think now's the time.
She was playing a strange game. I didn't quite understand the rules.
The rules are simple, Sammy. We should focus on the case first and then talk about us after.
Is there enough to talk about?
We'll see when the case is solved. I'm drawn to you, Sammy. You have an effect on me I can't explain. You make me feel special.
I thought you couldn't explain it.
I'm halfway there. No! We must concentrate on the case.
You're right. I should be going. I'll see you at the office tomorrow, I presume.
You certainly will. Because I'll be there.
Does he know what we've got planned for him?
Somehow I doubt that.
The tracing of the knife had led to something I wasn't really surprised to discover. It was made of metal with a plastic handle and was probably bought at a trendy home accessories warehouse like IKEA. It was sharp, and I accidentally gave myself a cut, like a paper cut, but with a knife. A knife cut, I guess, but more like a paper cut. A knife cut like a paper cut. That's not important. More to the point, the knife belonged to Marty. Despite my feelings for her, I knew I had to confront her. She walked into my office that day looking better than she had the first day. My heart leapt from in my chest and slapped me across the face.
I have some news and some questions for you. I don't really want to ask him, but you understand I have to.
Of course, you're just doing your job.
Marty, the knife came from your apartment. There are no fingerprints on the weapon, but there's a space in your knife rack that matched it exactly. Did you know this?
I knew one was missing, and I guess it was probably connected if it hadn't slipped behind the cooker, but I wanted you to find out for sure.
Okay, I'll check behind the cooker. There's something else I need to know. Why did you hire me for this case?
You must know the answer by now. Can't you tell by how I look at you and how I touch you? I'm burning for you, Sammy. Tell me you feel the same.
I do.
Then hopefully you can forgive me for what I'm about to tell you. I had my husband killed.
Why?
Because he drowned my mother and threw her body into the canal. He said he couldn't handle the guilt, but he was glad the old bitch was dead. I did to him exactly what he did to her, except for showing her how to email a photo on her phone. Hiring you was my cover. I read up on your last case and thought that if it took you so long to find a penguin in such a small town, it would take you forever to solve this one. I staged the attack on myself, and I didn't really have a date.
So that's why your bruises came off with wet wipes.
Yes, I did them with brown sauce.
You must have got the idea when I pointed out the ketchup on your cheek.
No, I had it all planned before. Oh, Sammy, I used you. I didn't expect to fall in love with you along the way.
Neither did I.
I don't regret anything because it has led me to you. And the only thing I'm sorry for is that I didn't tell you the truth sooner.
I can forgive you that. If you could give me your word here and now that I can believe everything you said today.
You have my word.
Meet me tonight at the bar, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
What to do, what to do, what to do.
Bye!
I had the responsibility of the law, and yet an undying love for a woman that had breached it. There was no question what I should do, and yet there was no question what I wanted to do. I knew as soon as I asked myself the question what I was going to do.
Everything I had told Sammy was true, apart from one little thing. I really had got the idea for the brown sauce bruises when he saw the ketchup on my face, but I couldn't let him take the credit. Oh, and the fact that the reason he wouldn't solve this crime in his lifetime was because I had hired somebody to kill him. I did love him, and I wanted him to forgive me. More importantly than that, I wanted to stop the plan that was already in motion. When he walked into the bar, I knew I had made the right decision. When I saw the flashing police lights, I changed my mind. Again. By now I had changed my mind so many times I had forgotten which change I was on. Do I have him killed or not? By then, it was already too late. As the police officer approached me, I didn't know if he was arresting me because I had killed Sammy, the barman, my husband, my mother, the dog, or the meatloaf. Maybe all 6. It seems I can't help myself. Now, if I can just make it 7.
I hate meatloaf.